Start by cutting your strips to size and trimming your template along the outer line so that it's ready for paper piecing. Then it can be really helpful to have a light source like a window or a backlit tablet so that you can see through the paper to align the strips of fabric to each section. Place your first piece of fabric on the back of the paper with the right side facing outwards so that it covers A1 and secure in place with a little dab of glue. Take the next strip of fabric which is going to cover A2 and place that right sides together on top of A1 so that the outer edge is covering the seam allowance between these sections by at least 1/4 inch. Then holding that in place, flip the paper back over and we're going to sew that in place by stitching along the line between A1 and A2, starting on the inner dot and stopping on the outer dot. Then open out that strip of fabric and check that it covers A2 and fold the paper back and trim off any excess seam allowance down to 1/4 inch along the stitching line. Open out and flatten A2 by finger pressing or pressing it flat with an iron. Take the next strip of fabric which will cover A3 and place it right sides together on A1, then flip the paper over and sew along the line between A1 and A3, starting on the inner dot and stopping on the outer dot. Check that A3 is correctly aligned, then fold back the paper and trim the seam allowance down to 1/4 inch and pull out those excess stitches. Finger press A3 in place with your fingers. Then continue with the next piece, placing it right sides together and stitching along that line. You can start either on the inside or the outside, it doesn't matter. Trim the seam allowance down and continue this process until you have pieced all the strips and your template is full.